Hey everyone, I'm Ryan. You're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and in this episode of my affordaboard series of videos, I'm going to scratch a curiosity itch. I've got 3 pedals here that are distortions that I've already covered on the affordaboard series. I want to see how similar or dissimilar they are. They all have 3 knobs. They all have a 3-position switch on them that are labeled really similarly. This one's got normal, modern, classic. This one has natural, tight, and classic. And then the Azor here also has natural, tight, and classic settings on it. Level and tone and gain all in the same placement on these pedals, all with the little mini knobs up top and a big knob down in the middle. I want to see what's actually going on here. Do these actually sound the same the way, on paper it looks like they probably might. And, it's well known that there's a lot of OEM building going on with these import brands. It's no big surprise. A lot of companies are parent and sister companies of other companies in that scene. What if these are the exact same circuit? Then people could pick which one they want purely based on aesthetics and price. Which, that's what we're here for, right? To figure out what's affordable. All right, how are we going to arrange this? That looks fun. Diagonal? Haven't done that before. All right, dry signal. I've got one of my favorite affordable guitars here, the Harley Benton TE90 FLT. It's a chambered body, kind of Cabernita style thing here. Reverse headstock. Plays like a dream. Sounds really nice. By the way, I have it in drop D, for distortion-y stuff. All right, let's check these out. I want to put them all on the same settings. Noon across all the knobs. We'll start with the switch in the classic setting, because they all have a classic setting. All right, let's start with the Sonicake, the Shark. Taste it. Taste the Shark. I need a little bit of a tuner. My D tuning was getting a D grade, maybe even a D minus. All right. I'm having fun with it. Right off the bat. All right, let's compare it to the Morpher by Donner. Is it going to be close? I mean, it sounds very similar. It certainly sounds like the same circuit, same components, same concept, like right off the bat. Like there's a little bit of variance. I'm feeling a little bit of a difference in kind of the low end, but that could just be component variance from the tone stack or even any of the other controls. This thing is not liking the D today. All right, on to the Azor. This isn't a completely different case. I mean, these look like they're in the same style enclosure. Completely different kind of enclosure here. Different switch. I mean, there are some hardware differences. The little nut around this switch is different on the Donner versus the Shark. The nut here is different. They've got almost like a TC Electronics style, like Phillips nut over the switch. The switches themselves look very similar. Different style knobs. Little details like that are different. All right, on to the Azor. I think it might be the same. I think they're all three the same circuit, at least on that classic setting. Let's go to the middle setting and see what happens. On that setting, the Azor has way more beef to it. But the Morpher and the Shark so far sound nearly identical. That is interesting. Natural, and normal. We're in the end. Again, just a little bit more beef from the low end with the Azor, but the game character is identical between these on all three settings. Let's dime them. See what happens when we do that. don't know where I'm going with this. And even with all three of them on, the noise floor is not too bad right now. Let's see how they all compare turned down. That will be interesting. Let's put the tones about 2 o'clock. Volume's back to noon. Back down to classic. I mean, if that doesn't tell you anything that you already don't know at this point. They behave exactly the same way at each point on the gain control. This is either a really boring video because it's the same circuit just 3 times in a row, or it's very interesting because it answers, you know, some ideas and questions and conjectures that people have had. I kind of want to get a little screwy here and see what the guts look like. Let's do it. What if they have the exact same circuit board on? I hope this isn't a tricky disassembly here. We might be just taking a quick peek. If there's multiple circuit boards and layers of things, I'm not going to deal with it. All right, here's the guts of the Sonicake. Let's get into the guts of the Morpher. How did they come up with a name like Morpher? Look at that. Their base plates are nearly identical. Essentially identical. I mean, the answer is clear with those two. The Azor is a little bit of a surprise because the case is so different on it. I'm fully expecting this to have identical guts to the Sonicake right now. Which is interesting because Sonicake is associated with Hotone as a sister brand. Does that mean that Donner is associated with Hotone as well? And then Azor is a sister brand or partner brand with K-Line. Are all these brands connected? Are they all the same thing? Or are they all just stealing from each other? Okay, here we go. Oh man. There's from just this angle, there's one little solder point that's different on here. I'm not going to take the whole thing apart because it's not worth it. But there's an extra little solder right down in here that isn't on the Donner for some reason. But otherwise, it looks very much the same. The circuit boards are printed slightly different. The lines on the circuit boards. I'll take a close-up photo of that for the people that are curious. Cool, I'm losing screws now. If any of you super sleuths out there and circuit people who know what you're looking at want to take a stab at solving some clues, go ahead off that image. All right, the Azor. Let's see if I can take this thing apart. These have a different case design to them. Oh, shoot. And I've got Velcro over the screw holes. Let's see if I can get that. I mean, it is totally possible that they are all different companies and they just lifted the same circuit from somewhere. or they are different companies that contract to the same builder that OEMs to them. You know, things like that. This is a sticky mess. There's a lot of different ways this sort of thing can happen and go down. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's lots of stuff that gets manufactured in America that you think is different brands, but it's really all just the same paper mill making everyone's tissue paper. Things like that, you know. Here we go. Is it going to come off, or am I going to have to undo the sides? Oh, good, it came off. Totally different. Totally different inside. I mean, there are some similarities with, you know, the placement of the knobs. You can see where, you know, the 3 connections are for each pot. But it's completely different construction in here. Very different components as well, as far as, you know, what they're using for, you know, the jacks, the little board here for the switch. But it's got to be, you know, an exact same circuit. The components that actually produce a tone have to be very, very freaking similar to have this kind of overlap. I'll get close-ups of each one. But clearly, for the Sonicake and the Donner, you can pick whichever one is cheapest or has the look that you want, and you're going to be having essentially the same experience with them. Possibly be sending money to the same place. I'm going to be lazy and just put 2 screws back on each, because who cares? Kind of wish there had been some little trim pots in there to mess with. Have some extra fun. I guess not on these. I bet some of the fuzzes and delays and reverbs and stuff like that have some internal trim pots to get extra weird with. It's not the most fun in the world dealing with little screws and taking things apart, but maybe I'll do some investigation into that. All right, what now? Let's get weird. Let's have some fun. What could we do? What could we do? Well, I've got 3 of these things. They stack decent. I've got 2 amps running. We could do a stereo thing. Okay. Here's a fun idea. You're going to like this. I'm going to like this. I hope. We're going to take the Behringer Ultra Chorus that splits into stereo. Let's run the Morpher first, and then the Sonicake and the Azor out in stereo, and do 2 different amplifiers. This is going to be great. I just know it. All right. Is the Ultra Chorus working? Sounds nice to me. Let's start with the distortions. Morpher first. All right, now Azor on 1 amp. And Shark on the other. Taste it. Sloppy noodles. Sounds pretty cool though. All right, let's throw the Ultra Course into there. I don't care if they all sound the same. You put them together, damn, that's pretty damn heavy. That's a lot of fun, honestly. All right. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude and nasty comments. Support us on Patreon. Suggest other ideas if you have them, if you want to see them here on this affordaboard series of videos that I'm doing. That was a lot of fun. I had a great time. I learned something. We all learned something together. Which of these do you think is the one to buy? I'm kind of leaning into the Azor. It was chunkier and warmer and a little bigger sounding on certain settings, a little bit more output, but you might not want that. These two sound identical, nearly identical. But they're more like tighter DS1 style distortion in a way. I don't think they are actually a DS1. I think these are all kind of like rat variations. They're not quite ratty. The tone stack is totally different, but I think that is the lineage and soul of these things, is my guess anyways. So, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Do all the stuff I just mentioned, and stay grounded. Bye, everybody.